Whew, sorry for the slight delay, folks. Must be my camera doesn't like me this morning. I must have a face for radio, Terry, because every time I would turn it on, it would take a look at me and turn off. And I was like, what in the hell is going on?
I know it's technology today. It can be really frustrating.
Can't live with it. You sure as hell can't live without it, right? That's
Yeah.
the unfortunate thing for sure.
That's right.
Anyway, let's get right to the news today, Terry. Are you familiar with the name? It's obviously, honestly, a name that I was not all that familiar with. Billy Turner. Are you familiar with him?
No, I really don't know him.
I didn't
Except
know
for,
who.
well, I
Go ahead.
think he was a trainer or an owner of Seattle Slew.
Right. I was going to say the one thing that you might know is the horse that he trained, Seattle Slew. Well, according to Pollock Report, the 81-year-old trainer, I think he says he's 81-year-old, is suffering from rapidly spreading cancer. So if indeed you're interested in helping Billy Turner to the best of your ability, it's holiday season, it's a good time to give. He certainly gave a lot to horse racing with Seattle Slew, right, and other horses. There will be a link on the website to help with his medical expenses and other expenses on horseracingtoday.net, and in the description of the story. The link to the story will be in the description here at YouTube. What were your thoughts about Seattle Slew, Terry? Did you get to see that one run?
Oh, yeah. I loved that horse. And as a matter of fact, my wife and I were in, I think it was Kentucky. We went to a thoroughbred museum facility, and they had a statue of Seattle Slew doing in the stride. And I was amazed at how long of a stride it was. It was several feet, like, I don't know, 18 feet long or 20 feet long. I was just like amazed.
That's quite a stride.
Yeah, and yeah, it is. And they also said that he had a lot larger heart than any of the other thoroughbreds. So that probably had a lot to do with how he did.
Could be. I know that he probably makes for more oxygen pumping in there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we certainly wish Billy Turner and his family all the luck. Again, if you'd like to help to his medical costs, there'll be a link for Billy Turner's GoFundMe account. Check that out at Pollock Report as well. Terry, one place, if you were making plans, I don't know what this world has come to. Santa Anita is going to close for Thursday, and it's not even going to rain necessarily, but in case it rains, they're going to close. What's going on with that?
I don't know. They've been really proactive. I remember back in the 60s and 70s, they never canceled racing because of mud or rain or whatever. They just went ahead and did it. Well, the problem is that, of course, a lot of horses got hurt, jockeys. So I like what they do here. I don't like it when you have like a pick 5, for instance, like yesterday at Santa Anita, and they canceled the 2 turf races. So then you got all in both those races. I don't like that. So, and I was really confused because they did that for the pick 5, but they didn't do it with the pick 4. I didn't know that there was a difference. I thought the rule applied to both.
Oh, and I don't know. To me, I think if it's not like a really bad rainstorm, I don't know what the weather forecast is out for there, but if it's just like a typical day of rain and then sun and then rain, sun, then I think they should run. Yeah. Better should know that if it's off the turf to look for the mud and that kind of stuff. But so be it. Wanted to also follow up on something we did right before the Christmas holidays, Terry, and that was the Western Kentucky Go Fund Me that we talked about.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see how well that did?
Yeah, it made or didn't make it. It received over $500,000 in donations, which I think is pretty darn fantastic. So,
yeah, I think that's a pretty good thing. That's the one that we are a part of. Unfortunately, we had a chance to do the 50-50 on a horse at the end there. And the horse that we were going to do, well, we missed on the 50-50, but we still made a donation. So
we did, yes.
Hopefully the folks in Western Kentucky are starting to recover from that. That's probably a process that takes quite a long time, I'd imagine, Terry.
Oh, yeah. And emotionally and psychologically may never recover. So,
yeah, I think Yeah, it depends on what you lost, right? If you lost
Yeah,
family
it
members
does.
and stuff, it's kind of be tough. But a house and all that kind of, you get a new one, you probably be, hey, look, I like the new house, right?
Yeah, it's mostly people I was thinking about, like kids or parents or what grandkids, that sort of thing. That's what's hard to get over. So
Yeah, and then any sort of family things that were handed down for generations that are literally lost in the wind. So,
mhm.
speaking of lost in the wind, Terry, how did your best bet do yesterday? Hopefully, it wasn't lost in the wind.
Well, my top pick, Mac Daddy 2 at Santa Anita, did not get in the money, but my second pick ran second and paid 380 and 260, and my third pick also ran out of the money.
So, if we had gone all over your second pick, we would have had the exacta for sure.
You would have, yes.
Yes, indeed. I don't know what that paid. I was a little bit upset about something yesterday, Terry. I did some handicapping and in my box it up, and there was a horse that I used that I was thinking about using in my box it up with Ray Lou Gutierrez over at Fairgrounds, and I
Yeah.
said, maybe not. I let the morning odds affect me, and the horse actually won at 40-1. So
Oh my.
I made a pledge to myself not to let the odds ever affect me. And they really shouldn't affect me, because every time we've had an odds maker on, they tell us they're not necessarily betting or making their odds based upon what they think the horse's odds should be, but rather how the bettors are going to bet it.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's not really a reflection of how strong the horse might be. But let's see how strong your picks are today, Terry. I know we're going to be at Mahoning Valley, race number 4. And then from here, we're going to jump to the box it up, because you have Mahoning Valley race number 3, which is probably coming up in about, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's probably 25, 30 minutes. So anyway, today I like the fourth race at Mahoney Valley, and number 6, Brilliant Benny.
Brilliant Benny. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Brilliant Benny finished third versus similar in his last race, and he has the highest last speed rating, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like number 4, Admiral Glenn. He's cutting back to 6 furlongs, which is where he ran a really good second 2 races back. He's finished 4 out of 7 races in the money at Mahoney Valley. Then I like number 1, Family Jet. He's finished 2 seconds and 2 3/3 at Mahoney Valley, and the distance should be no problem, as he's finished in that money 4 times at that distance.
It sounds like a good one, Terry. With the new website, did you see this little moon over here?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
If you click on the moon,
Yeah.
this is supposedly better for your eyes.
Oh, how nice!
You
I
like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
The only problem is, before, remember, I used to highlight these in yellow.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you highlight them in yellow now, you can't see them
they go away.
Because of the white lettering underneath. It's tough
Right.
to see. So we had to make a little bit of a change. I hope you like the new website. I like the new website, the way it looks. Working on it still. Haven't got it 100% to where I want it, but we'll get it there.
Yeah, looks good to me.
You ready for the fly for today, Terry? I don't even want to pretend like we've been anything other than fadeable. So let's try to
Yeah.
get back into the winners column here
Yep.
today, Terry.
Before we do that, though, let's do
Oh, yes,
let's do
go
our
over
box
to the
stuff.
box it up. Yes, you're right. I forgot about that for a moment. Just creature of habit, I guess. Terry, we're doing the box it up a little bit early today, because Terry is picked race number 3, just coming up very shortly over at Mahoning Valley. So take it away, Terry.
Okay, in the third race, I like number 5, Captured by Fate, and then number 8, Powerful Moon, and then I like the entry 1 and 1A, JAA mode and
Or Jaw
Beachfront.
mode, maybe, right? Jaw mode.
Could be. Jaw,
There's a rapper named Ja Rule, so maybe that's his horse.
might be.
Mhm.
Then I like number 6, Exclusive Donald.
Is that Donald Duck or Donald Trump, you think?
I got Donald Trump.
All right. So let's look at the I'm over at Turf Paradise. Today they have wrong button here. They have an allowance race. This allowance race is about, I think, like a $37,000 allowance race, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
So these are our picks over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Number 9, Tony's Tap It, is a best bet on the day, if my memory correctly serves. And then number 2, Macchiato de Oro. I don't know. Is that like coffee and gold? I don't know what a macchiato is. Loose Diamond and the Beat. So 9, 2, 8, and 6. And the 2-horse, I think, is like a 15-1 or 10-1 morning line. So I did not let the morning line impact me today, Terry. So hopefully the long shot comes home for me. Again, these are our box setups. $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta. Terry's doing race 3 that's coming up at Mahoning Valley pretty shortly. Now we're going to do, Terry, the Fly 4.
Okay. So
Hold on a second. Let me pop over here. Did I miss something?
No.
All right. I feel like maybe I missed something there. The Fly 4 today is at Mahoning Valley. It starts at race number 5. Terry, I know right now the track, I think, is still listed as fast, but it might get a little wet over there today.
It could, yeah. Yeah, it seems to rain there quite a bit. So
Central Ohio, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like Seattle. Just they don't know it.
That's right.
Seattle without the fish. All right, Terry. So race number 5, the first 3 races here, Terry, are 6 furlongs. So all the numbers are going to be the same. I look back at the last week's numbers instead of the entire year just to get a sense of what the current bias might look like. They ran 18 races at 6 furlongs at Mahoning Valley in the last week. 11 of them won by speed. 18 went wire to wire. The rail horse won, I think the rail horse won 7 of those races, Terry, so at a real high rate. And then the 2 and the 3 combined for another 4. So 11 of the 18 winners in the last week broke from posts 1, 2, or 3. That's a pretty hefty number there.
It is, absolutely.
Everything all right?
Oh, yeah, just got to get my notes here.
All right. So who do you want to start with?
I like number 5, Ajara.
Uh-huh.
And I like this horse. If you look at the last 3 races, it won 2 out of the 3. It ran third in the next race. It switches to a high percentage jockey, Sonny Leon.
Uh-huh.
And it also has one of the highest last speed ratings. The jockey in the last 7 days has won 4 out of 15 races, been in the money 9 times. And it likes Mahoning Valley. It's ran here twice and won 1 time and 1/3, and the distance should be no problem. Finished in the money 100% of the time.
Yeah, indeed. I also like the fact that Mahoning Valley, it ran on a good surface and a muddy surface. So if the track is a little bit off, both of those races were on not a fast track. And I don't think they're going to get a fast track no matter what today. I also like the fact that last time out, Terry, at a higher level, last time out was same level, but I saw a pretty good increase in its speed in its early pace figures, and in its early fraction. So if you look at the 4 furlong fraction 2 races back, he was on the lead at 47-1. Last time out, he was second by about 4.5 lengths at 45-4. 5 lengths is roughly 1 second. So that would be 46-4. So the horse ran about 0.7 of a second faster last time out. So that race might not look as good on paper as it actually was. And the final 6 furlong time was about 2 seconds quicker, of which he was about a second faster than he ran before. So I agree with you with Ajura.
Okay.
Horse I like is a little bit more to the outside, and that's Deb's All Out, Terry.
Okay.
When you look at this horse's record at Mahoning Valley, it has hit the board 4 out of 8. And when you look, too, at the fact that this horse comes from off the pace and there's a lot of speed in this race, I think you're going to see Deb's All Out chase down some of these horses late. May not be your winner, but I think it's going to threaten late because there is a lot of early speed, Terry, and it does have the best late pace numbers in the field.
Oh, I agree with you. It's my 3rd pick. And number 9, Deb's All Out. That's my daughter's. One of my stepdaughter's name is Deb. So that's good. It's finished in the money 4 out of 8 times at Mahoning Valley, winning one of those. It likes the distance. Okay, it's been in the money 5 out of 9 times. It has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best dirt speed is faster than the average winning speed.
All right. Who else do you like in here, Terry?
I like number 10, Line Dancer. Line Dancer won its last race at Mahoning Valley by 3/4 of the length, and it actually is pretty young. Moves up in class from the last start, which is something I like. It's cutting back to 6 furlongs I don't know if that may help it or not. I think it might, because if you see back the race before the maiden win, it had been a lot of early speed, so
Mhm.
could be a good indication.
Yeah, and it finished second behind the number 5, Ajura. By well, it was on the pace, but then kind of backed off a little bit. A horse that I think this is kind of taking a little bit of a price here, maybe Terry, but I think you can't overlook the fact that the rail has won half of the races, well, almost half the races in the last couple of weeks. And when you look at that last race on the one horse, Pricey Appeal,
Hmm.
I know it doesn't look the best on paper, and you see a lot of black bull type in front of this horse in other races. But that last race, you see some pretty good early pace figures out of this horse. You see some really fast fractions, particularly at the 4 furlong and 5 furlong markers, faster than the horse has run in a long time. So I have a feeling that Pricey Appeal, this 5-year-old mare, could wake up at a price at 20-1, Terry. And I got a feeling it's going to be a part of the early pace this time out, something it hasn't shown in a bit. But just looking at that improvement in the fractions and the early pace figures tells me the horse is getting into shape.
Yeah, it's not one that I picked, but it does have a really nice workout, 49.2 breathing for
Mm-hmm.
furlongs. And, the only thing that kind of concerned me is that it'll increase its speed rating one race, and then it'll go back down, and then increase again, and then go back down.
So off
Uh,
and on horse for sure.
yeah, that's the
Mhm.
only thing that concerned me. But
But what I like
uh,
about this one was the improvement in the speed figures and the fractions.
yeah,
We
well,
really hadn't seen that before. And plus that rail, it just seems like that rail is the place to be.
I like the price too, the 20-1. So let's stick it in there.
All right. So if there's a scratch, who would you think about adding?
Number 3, Can I Go To? Uh, has the best dirt speed among today's starters, and it's finished the money 2 out of 4 times at Mahoning Valley, winning one of those, and it's finished 3 out of 6 times in that at this distance, and so it has a pretty decent prime power number. It's 106.8, which is the third best in the race.
For me, I would look at number 6, the Devil's Advocate. I know it won last time out off the maiden race, but it's also been pretty well bet in every single race that the horse had been in. First time it's been at Mahoning in a while. Came out, got to the lead, kept the lead. But the only problem with it was fractions were kind of on the slowish side. So that's one of the reasons why I put it off to the side, because when I was handicapping this, I was looking at basically what these horses can run 6 furlongs in and tried to get a sense of which horses would be at the front at the 4 furlong marker. Most of the time in these 6 furlong races, you're going to find your winner is going to be first, second, or third after 4 furlongs. So for me, that was the 5, the 9, and the 1 in terms of the 3 fastest horses to the 4 furlong marker. Race in number 6, Terry, is another 6 furlong race. This one only has 7 runners. So this is the shallowest field I think that we're going to see in all the races today. There is a horse in here I feel like is going to be a pretty aggressive favorite in Rock Slide.
Mm-hmm.
The horse has run very well at Mahoning Valley, 19 races, 5 wins, 3 seconds, 2/3. Horse has done pretty well at the distance too. It's not been its favorite distance, though it has hit the board in 7 to 12. Just one of those a win, but it does have all that early pace that you want at this distance and surface, Terry. So what do you think about the 4 horse?
Oh, I like it. It's my top pick. It has the highest speed figure at today's distance and best dirt speed. It's fastest among today's starters, and it's finished in the money in let's see, 10 out of 19 starts at the Mahoning Valley, winning 5 of those. Has the highest prime power number. So.
Well, I look back too at the horse. Doesn't really get a lot of breaks, this horse. I went back and looked at all 51 of its races, and it tends to run in long stretches. And I think most of the time, and there hasn't really been a lot of times where it got, like I said, a break, but every single time it looked to me like where it was off for 2 months and then came back to run.
Mm-hmm.
The second time off a layoff actually saw its speed number improve. So if that trend holds up, Rock Slide could be pretty hard to beat. If there is one that's going to beat rock slide, Terry. For me, I like that number 6 horse, the Filter.
Mm-hmm.
It's making a second start after a claim for trainer Shane Spice, who's won 6 of 14 that way. Last time out, the horse was bet pretty well. It was about a 5-2 line. Today, it's 6-1. So one of those angles that we've really grown to like here late in 2021, where you have a horse that was well bet, and then you see its odds rise off the next race. It did post the highest last race speed figure, which in itself is about a 30% winner. Has 2 seconds and 3 runs at Mahoning Valley. But here's the thing that really caught my attention. If it does get a little wet there, the horse has been on a off dirt track 6 times, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. And if you're doing the math, that equals 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I like this horse too. It's my 4th pick. At this distance, it's won 25% of his starts. So, and also the trainer wins 42% of the time on the second race after a claim.
Who else do you like? I feel like with only 7 horses in this field, Terry, this is the one we go 3 deep. So who do you like as your third shot here?
Yeah, number 7, Max Revolution. This horse ran a good third last time out. It's ran 2/3 at Mahoning Valley, and it's ran 4 times in the money at this distance.
Mm-hmm. I was looking between the 7 horse and the 8 horse Lock On, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, his name is not Lock On Terry, just Lock On. At Mahoning Valley, he's run 28 times, the 8 horse. He won 9 of them, Terry.
Yeah.
So he's won at a pretty good clip at this level. He's been facing better company. If you look at the class rating on these races compared to the 7 horse, obviously the 7 horse has better odds, which I like. And Guillermo Rodriguez seems to be getting the best out of this horse. When I look, though, at Lock On, Terry, again, early pace, I figure, is going to be a big factor at 6 furlong races. It doesn't look like it on paper like the horse is all that fast out of the gates, but when you look at its early pace figures, it has amongst the best early pace figures in the field. So I think the 8 horse is going to be much closer to the front than its past performance lines indicate. And if that's the case, he has some of the best late pace figures as well. So he should be able to get up front, stay up front, and maybe keep up front. So we have to pick between the 7 and the 8, Terry. I'll let you make the choice.
Well, the 8 is also one of my picks, so I really like it. I like the fact that it's dropped in class today, and that it's been pretty good with its speed ratings consistently. Mm-hmm. So let's go with the 8 and put the 7 off to the side.
Yeah, there's likely to be some scratches, I suspect, with the weather maybe changing there today.
I would think so. I'd also like to put one other horse off to the side.
All right.
Which is the number 3 horse, President-elect. And
maybe that'll be me someday, Terry.
Could be. Comes in from Hawthorne. Ran 4th by 5 3/4 last race at 6 furlongs. And it's never tried Mahoning Valley. So it likes the distance. Been in the money 8 out of 23 times. So
that was an interesting one to me, Terry, because I wasn't quite sure what to do with the Hawthorne horse at Mahoning Valley, because I feel like I don't know if it's a parallel switch or if it's a little step down in track or a little step up in track. I'm not quite sure how to look at that. So, and the speed numbers were there. I would have liked to have seen a workout at Mahoning Valley to get a sense of what the horse might like. But a lot of times horses do respond when they switch to new tracks. That can be a good angle to find a horse that's at a nice price. So I didn't know what to do with President-elect, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Race number 7 is another 6 furlong race. Again, Terry, speed. You want, especially been on the inside, has been a good way to go. And I feel like this is another race where you're probably going to have a pretty good favorite. I think there's a scratch in this race. So there were originally 11 runners. I think there's just 10 now. So still a deep field. When you look at this, Terry, again, speed is a way to go. I'm going to start with a little bit of a long shot on the inside. I'm going to go with number 2, Miss Over There.
Okay.
So the 1 horse on the rail, you look at it and you're going to say to yourself, wow, the 1 horse is going to be the one that gets the lead. The rail is won. What was it? I said 7 out of the last 18 races at the distance.
Yeah.
So the rail has definitely been a hot thing. First time off a claim. But when you look at the early pace numbers on the 2 horse, and then you look at the class that the 2 horse has been running in versus the class that the 1 horse has been running in, I think the 2 horse is the one that's going to lead these guys out of the gate, lead these ladies out of the gate, and be on the lead at 12-1. And if the horse can have the lead in the stretch, Terry, this is a big key. But the last 3 times, the Miss Over There had the lead at the stretch, closed out the race with a W. So I'm looking for a little bit of a price on the Miss Over There. I do think that Miss Over There will be the leader. Might have a hard time clearing the 1 horse because the 1 horse shows some speed too, but has a little bit of time to get to that turn and then clear it and then hopefully have the lead in the stretch and close it out for us.
All right, yeah, I'll go for that. I didn't have it as my picks, but that works for me.
All right.
Okay.
Who do you have in your picks?
I actually, in my picks, I have the number 7 horse, Windy Lou Who. I really think this Windy Lou Who.
All right.
Yeah, I really like this horse.
Which one?
It's, number 7, Windy Lou Who.
Who's on first?
Who?
All right. That joke's played out. All right, yeah, go ahead, Terry. I'm sorry.
That's all right. If you look at its races at Mahoning Valley, it's never been out of the money. It's won 2 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the distance, it's been in the money 6 times out of 9, winning 2 of those. It likes an off track. It's been in the money 100% of the time, winning 2 of those. Has one of the highest last speed ratings. Best start speed is the fastest among today's starters, and it has the highest figure at today's distance, speed figure, and it just won its last race. So
yeah, and much improved. The 2 prior races were both at 6 furlongs.
Yeah.
She improved her 4 furlong time by about a second, a little more than a second and a half on the 5 furlong time, and finishing time by over about 2 seconds. So a much improved race out of number 7, Windy Lou Who.
That's it. Ooh.
So I mentioned the 1 horse when I brought up the 2 horse. As I said, the rail has been dominant the last week at 6 furlongs at Mahoning Valley. There's no way you can toss out early speed on the rail at a course where speed wins, the rail wins, Terry. And the horse is making its first start off a claim for Richard Zielinski. He's done it 56 times this year. He's won 11 of those races, Terry. And when you look at the horse's early pace figures, they're only second behind the 2 horse. Again, if you get a track that's a little bit on the wet side, has run well, has one of the best speed figures on a wet track, and it's finished in the money 9 out of 16 at Mahoning Valley, but seems to love to run second, 6 of those being second. So I'm expecting a really strong early pace between the 1 and the 2 horse, and I'm hoping one of those 2 has the lead in the stretch and carries it home.
Yeah, I like the 1 too. It's my 4th pick, and as you said, the rail post is winning at 18% clip. Just got beat last time out, beaten by a neck, and I like it for all the other reasons you said.
Perfect. So one last horse we can fill in here, Terry. Who will it be?
Okay, for me, it's the let's see. Let me look here real quick. Yeah, the number 6 horse.
All right, the 6 horse.
Yeah, number 6 horse, which is
Cat's
Company's
Rhythm.
Coming. Or I'm sorry, Cat's Rhythm. Yeah,
all right. Yeah, so you had me a little confused there, Terry. What?
I have myself confused.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, this horse has won 2 races in a row, and it going for a hat trick.
Mm-hmm.
It's won 3 out of 9 races at Mahoning Valley, and it's been on an off track. It's been in the money 50% of the time, winning 3 of those. It has a good workout on the September 4th, which is a little while ago, but at least it shows it's got a good workout. I like the jockey, and I like the trainer. So.
Yeah, I like the fact that the horse, if there's a lot of early pace in this speed, it has the ability to come from off the pace. When you look across its inner race numbers, Terry, they're always very consistent. So if the horse gets off to a decent start, it usually gets off to a decent ending. It puts in a good effort from beginning to end. So I don't think you're going to see this one die off. Sorry, bad terminology. I don't think you'll see it fade as the race wears on. It'll be a horse that continues to come and for the most part, if you look to, the horse has been well bet by the public. So that tells me they like this 7-year-old mare. sometimes these 7-year-old mares, though, can throw a few clunkers in there. And if she does, a horse I'd like to put off to the side, Terry, is the 9 horse. That is Company's Coming. I think that's the one that you wanted to talk about before.
Yeah.
It did put a little bit of speed out there last time, ran the tied for the highest last race speed figure. It was one I was considering putting in my picks as well. But I'm sorry, the wrong number. But I just didn't like the fact that it has that outside post and has a lot of speed to its inside.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have speed to your inside and you're not just a blazing fast horse, you got to clear all that stuff. And I think that could be a difficult task for Fernando Salazar.
Yeah, I like putting it off to the side too because it was one of my picks. So,
all right. Last leg, Terry, is 5.5 furlongs. There are a couple scratches in this race too. So 5.5 furlongs, a little bit different. They've only run 42 races at that distance during the current meet. You've had 30 speed winners, Terry. 16 have gone wire to wire. And what's unusual is by cutting a half a furlong off, you would think that it would make the inside posts even more dominant than they are at 6 furlongs, but it actually flips it around. There's a little bit of an outside bias.
yeah.
So outside speed, Terry, is the way to win at 5.5 furlongs, which is kind of weird to me. I don't see how that half a furlong would do that, but apparently it does.
Yeah, it does.
So who do you like to start our last leg off?
An outside horse, number 8, Illusions of Love.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, they are. You know, this horse out of the last 6 races has at Mountaineer has ran
Mahoning Valley, you mean?
I think that's right. One of them is at Mahoning Valley. The other one's at Mountaineer.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the race before the last race was at Mahoning Valley.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's the last 6 races. It's been in the money 5 times and won 2 of those races. And at Mahoning Valley, it came in for that one race and ran 3rd. It likes the distance. It's won 2 out of 5. It likes off track again. And then anytime that the trainer claims a horse claimed a horse, it wins. Anytime the trainer runs a horse that's won a claiming race, they win 27% of the time.
And he's dropping off a win, which is a little bit suspicious to me, Terry, that he's dropping off a win. But what I do like in here is that Guillermo Rodriguez, the jockey on this horse, has ridden him 5 times in his last 6 races. And he has a couple of wins, a couple of thirds, and an ugly 5th in there. But that 5th that he had an excuse. He got pinched back at the start. So
right.
I do expect that you'll see the 8 horse near the front. And if the track is off, is one of the better horses in terms of an off track. A horse that's done pretty well on an off track as well is number 10, Terry, Blue Rocket. And it's outside. As I mentioned, outside is a good place to be. And the horse does have some early pace to it, Terry. That last race didn't really have the best early pace to it. But I looked at the horse when it kind of, you talked before about a horse that kind of goes up and down and up and down. And this horse tends to bounce back after it's had a down effort, which is kind of what it did last time out. But it really wasn't as bad as it looks on the paper because those fractions in that last race were pretty much faster than the fractions it faced for a little while, specifically at the 4 furlong marker. But it did make a nice push at the very last in the stretch. It went from 9 lengths back to only 5 1/4 lengths back. So I feel like if the horse gets off to a little better start in its early pace figures and its past performance, tells me that Blue Rocket is one that should do well. And again, on the board, 5 or 6 if the track is a little bit wet.
Okay. I like the fact that it's been in the money for the last 4 races and it had a winner. It's coming in from Mountaineer to Mahoning Valley. Never ran here. So it's been in the money 6 out of 10 times and won 2 of those this year. So,
all right. Who else do you want to go with?
Number 2, Mavi. And or Mavi, I guess.
Yeah, whatever the name is.
Whatever,
we'll go with Mavi, maybe.
Yeah. Well, this horse has a highest last speed rating anytime, and it's won 2 in a row. Actually, and one of my favorite angles is the hat trick. It's going for the 3rd one. It's won 2 out of 2 races at Mahoning Valley. Likes the distance okay, and it's won one time on the off track. Both the jockey and the trainer is doing fairly decent. Any times that the horse is won a claiming race with this trainer, the trainer wins 35% of the next races. So
Yeah, since coming over from Gulfstream Park, it's found the competition to be a little bit easier, going undefeated, and it's 3 consecutive speed increases there for the horse Mavi. So I do think you're going to see a pretty good effort in the third time as well. Ivan Calderon, the trainer, and Luis Batista, the jockey, they've run 7 times together, Terry. They've won 4 of those times. But what's interesting is they have a positive ROI of 406%. So for every dollar you bet, you got $4.06 back. Now that's what you call putting some money in the bank, right?
it is. It's very good.
So I also had the one here, Terry, for me, but that horse I think is scratched. So the 2 horse moves down to the rail. Any other horse in here that you like?
Yeah, I like number 6, Golden Temple.
All right.
And Golden Temple is cutting back from to 5.5 furlongs from a distance race.
Mm-hmm.
When it's ran at this distance, it's won 2 out of 3. It's been in the money 3 out of 4 times at Mahoning Valley, went in 2 of those races. And so it drops in class today. And it has the highest speed figure at today's distance.
All right. So the only other horse I would kind of consider, and I don't know which one to scratch, but I was, like I said, looking at the 1, but maybe the 5 would be one I would put in here too if it's in the race. I don't remember exactly which ones have scratched and which ones haven't. So
yeah.
All right, Terry. Any others, or is that it?
Well, I have one other one I would put off as number 3, Wish for Magic.
All right.
It's shipping in from Mountaineer. It's never ran here before, but this year it's been in the money 9 out of 16 times. And anytime the trainer ships a horse in, he wins 20% of those races.
Well, that wraps up our Mahoning Valley pick 4, Terry. Hopefully it's well, what I always say is that pick 4s are the sequential bets. Pick 4s, pick 5s, pick 6s. Any horse player knows they're the most difficult to hit because there's always some shock or some surprise in there that you're not looking for, that you didn't see coming, Terry.
That's right.
That's why we consider using exactas and trifectas and rolling doubles and that sort of thing. Play rolling pick 3s. Because we most of the time, if we hit one, we hit something in the other 2 or 3 races pretty nice. So that's what we're hoping. How far off to your race over here for race 3 for your box it up, Terry?
They're loading in right now.
Oh, they're loading in right now. Okay, so quickly, here's our pick 4. We have the 1, the 5, the 9, and the 10 in race 5, 4, 6, and 8 in race number 6, race number 7, 1, 2, 6, 7, race number 8, 2, 6, 8, and 10. So all the even numbers in that race, Terry, except for number 4. So maybe we should throw the 4 in there just to play it safe for the even numbers.
We should.
Yeah, indeed. So this is how we did it ourselves, Terry. Let's take a look at your hot dog pick 4 and my hot dog pick 4. Tell me about your hot dog pick 4.
Okay, in the 5th race, I like the 3, 5, 9, and 10. 6th race, I like the 4. 7th race, I took the 6, 7, and 9. And 8th race, I took the 2, 6, and 8.
For me, I was really considering singling both the 5 and the 4 in the first 2 legs, Terry. Within inches of that. But I decided to do it a little bit deeper. So I put the 9 in there and the 6 as a chance to beat the 5 and the 4, though I do think the 5 and the 4 are the best 2 horses in those races. Race number 7, the 1, the 6, and the 7. Race number 8, the 2, the 8, and the 10. Mine's $18. Terry is $18. And those are our hot dog pick 4. So again, if you run a marketing company and you want to sponsor our hot dog pick 4, you work for Oscar Mayer, you work for Nathan's, you work for whomever, Portillo's, let us know. We'll be glad to make it the Portillo's hot dog pick 4.
All right,
Terry. So one other quick thing. Yesterday, our free track of the day was Mahoning Valley over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. The top 4 picks. Using our top 4 picks, you could have had a potential payouts of $1,520 on the day. And our top 4 picks in race number 3 or race number 7 had a $348 trifecta. Terry, what do you think about that?
That's pretty amazing. I think that's really good.
Yeah, I will take that all day long. Today's free track, if you're up a little bit later on tonight, Penn National. So make sure you head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet if you're playing Penn National tonight. Register, it's free, and then you'll Just click on that, and then you'll get all the picks for Penn National, including 3 best bets like we have at every single race. How's your race playing out right now, Terry?
Right now, my top pick is leading.
And you're talking about your box it up, right? Captured by Fate.
That's right. Captured by Fate.
So do a little bit of do your best impersonation of a track caller, Terry.
Coming in the stretch, the number 5 is leading by half length, but he's fading. The 8 is coming on the outside, way on the outside. I can't see the number, but I think it's the 4. 4 is closing. 4 goes by everybody, and nope, the inside horse, whoever that was, beat the 4.
Wow.
So,
well, hopefully it was the 8, the 6, or the 1. So
yeah,
at least we have a winner in there, right?
It could be. That was a 7. 7 won that. So my horses didn't get in the money there. So.
No, tough call. But that means you're going to do better on your best bet, Terry. So how is the track listed right now?
It looks to me like it's pretty muddy.
It looks muddy.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you're almost
sloppy. Almost sloppy.
So let's see. Race number 5. Right now they have the dirt listed as good, so it's probably going to get a little bit wet. So I did take that into account when I was doing my handicapping last night. The weather, hopefully that plays out, right, Terry? Yeah. Any final thoughts before we get out of here today? Tomorrow's track is what? Parks?
No, tomorrow's track is Delaware.
Delaware or Delta Downs?
I mean Delta Downs, yeah.
Delta Downs, okay. And then on Thursday, what are we doing Thursday? Because it can't be Santa Anita.
No, at Turfway Park.
Turfway Park. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Sounds good. We're doing the teas for Wednesday and Thursday. If you like what you saw today, folks, we would appreciate that you do like Lionel TM Fook and give us a thumbs up on Facebook and on YouTube. We appreciate that. It helps us move up their algorithms. Subscribe here at Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube. And you can also follow us on the handles Horse Race Today, and that's the number 2 for today on Twitter and Facebook. A lot of good stuff over there from our Swiss Army Sean. He always has some interesting questions to ask people about horse racing. All right, Terry, hopefully your best bet of the day and our pick 4s today, along with your day, ends up in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely, folks. Have a fantastic Tuesday.